Are now live in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all music and wrestling matters, Sportswire Radio. And there is a lot to talk about here because, you're going to probably see some rock stars coming on here in the next week. But this is the resident rock star. And after all, there wouldn't be any of these rock stars coming on without the first rock star, the first resident rock star. And boy, is he going to have plenty to say here tonight. And especially when it comes to what everybody's talking about, dirty deeds last week. But he'll talk about that. But he'll also show us who's boss and who's boss coming up here in less than 3 weeks. The biggest show in the IMF's history. If you thought Dirty Deeds was big, wait until you see Winter Clash 3, and this man puts up those tag team championships once again, and maybe for all, once and for all, he permanently shows who is the boss and permanently the resident rock star of the BYW in the underground circuit. We'll talk about all of that. We'll also replay that match that everyone's talking about where those tag team championships were on the line, and we'll talk about a stipulation added to Winter Clash 3. We'll get into that. But we'll also talk about our guest coming out at the end of Dirty Deeds in that main event and what happened there with Soldier GP and his son. And his son, well, let's just say his heart almost stopped. And we'll get into that later on. We'll explain that. And we'll also talk about a brand new All Wrestling Matters champion that, well, he's going to certainly have his hands full coming up here at Winter Clash, it looks like, with an enforcer of Sports by Radio who's here in the chat. But before that, we'll talk with the man, obviously, behind that All Wrestling Matters movement, his thoughts on Gabe Sayers as the new All Wrestling Matters champion. We'll also talk about your comments here in the chat. We'll most certainly talk about those rock stars of the galaxy. And I will certainly have a surprise for our guest today. No, I don't have Dirty coming on here. No, it's not Prince Achia. No, it's certainly not even Tone DeBoss, but I will certainly make sure that our guest gets quite a surprise that he deserves. But before I do all of it, I will give that introduction that this man certainly deserves on a platform that he helped build. And as I stated, as a big cue here tonight, a platform that he helped build where all these rock stars are going to be coming on here. We'll get to that later on. But I do want to actually give my thoughts and prayers for a moment before I get into my usual intro. And I see Hillbilly Tilly's here. He wants me to do that war chant intro. But I have to give somebody very important my thoughts and prayers and well wishes. Speaking of rock stars, and that is the news that hit me and everybody in the rock and roll world earlier here today and throughout this weekend, that the guitarist and the founding member of the band Great White, Mark Kendall, is dealing with stage 4 kidney cancer. And obviously, if you know what stage 4 cancer of any sorts is and kidney cancer, it's not the news that anybody would wish. And obviously, Mr. Kendall was very gracious to come on to the platform that Shawn Jovi had helped build. And we also had the honor to be featured in Blabbermouth, which is the heavy metal version of Rolling Stone. And we want to obviously thank Mr. Kendall for that. But just for a minute before I get into the intro, I hope everybody could just join me and keep Mr. Kendall and your thoughts and prayers and hope that he will, fight this. We know he will. He's obviously one of the greatest guitarists around, but just, please just give a thought or two here to Mark Kendall of Great White as he now deals with the biggest fight of his life in stage 4 kidney cancer. Thank you. And now we can start this show off here in style with the resident rock star of them all here on Sportswire Radio, the number one global radio station where all music and wrestling matters. So with without further ado, here on the Sports Report, of BYW and the underground community, the man that helped build Sportswire Radio, the first BYW and underground wrestler to come on to Sportswire Radio, and one half of the reigning, defending IMF Tag Team Champions of the world. His name is, simply put, the Resident Rockstar, Shawn. Shawn Jovi. Jovi's got it going on. The champ is here, my friend. How are we doing?
Good. I'm doing fabulous. Obviously, I'm still the champ. Most people don't like it. That's fine. I don't give a crap anymore. I only care about holding gold and tagging with Mephisto. But I'm here tonight, Tom, and it was a nice surprise probably for everyone. Still, again, don't care what they think. I'm just happy to be back on the station that I helped build, the station that I'm responsible for, and the All Wrestling Matters movement. You know, a lot of people tend to forget that. And that's what makes me sick.
Why does that make you sick? Why does that make you sick that people forget that, you know, it was about 3.5 years ago that you were the first guy in the backyard in the underground circuit to have come on here, and you were the guy that has waved this All Wrestling Matters flag pretty much since the time you came on here. Why does that make you sick for the audience?
You see, it doesn't so much make me sick. It's the people who have forgotten who the hell I am and what I've done for this community. That's why I don't appreciate fans anymore, because I give them everything imaginable. And what they do, they chew it, they spit it out, they throw it away, throw in the garbage, whatever. It's not good. It's not cool. You people put me in a mental funk because of it. And now I'm out to take it out on all you people, because you guys didn't support me when I needed you most.
So let me ask you then this question, in a sense, going off that. Would you say, is it fair to ask the question that you didn't change, but the fans changed?
Oh, I agree. You see, it's a change of heart on my end, obviously. But the fans didn't support me. They turned on me. They didn't want to see Shawn, Jovi, and Mephisto win the tag titles. They wanted Soldier GP and that walkout deuce, Justin Parsley.
Okay. I do know in the telecast it was meant, you know, he wasn't in the main event, but okay, all right, that's fine.
But this is the thing, Tom. None of that matters, because I hold this and Mephisto holds the other. We rule this galaxy now. It doesn't matter who's thrown in front of us. It can be Princess Shia. It can be Dirty Donnie. Hell, I'd love it if it was Tone the Boss, which it's going to be.
We're going to talk about him. We're going to definitely get into him in a little while. But I guess then, you know, it's something I hadn't asked you when you've been here since you've won those tag team championships. So then I guess the sense is that, yeah, maybe you changed a little bit, but really the fans didn't appreciate what you've done for the IMF. You know, one of the things you had said in now the lead up to what we're going to be talking about here on and off these next few weeks when it comes to Winter Clash 3 is that every IMF live show that there's been, that's been in a venue, you have a 100% attendance ratio. Your attendance, your record is perfect. There is very few people throughout in these 2+ years the IMF has been in existence as a live venue company that can say they have that same 100% attendance record, and you have that record, and I guess maybe that's in part as to why the fans maybe don't appreciate what you've done. You're also, as I have stated here in many times here over the past few years, is that it's really you and Doc Holliday who were the last two vestiges of the GBYWN that are left in the underground circuit. So I guess then circling back to what we just talked about here over the first few minutes of the show is that the fans have forgotten that you've been at every IMF show. The fans have forgotten your lineage as being the guy that is one of the last two vestiges in the GBYWN. So your history and what you've done, past and present, speaks for itself. And the fans seem to have forgotten that, I suppose.
Yeah, I think they have. I think the underground might have, the whole scene itself. You see, I feel underappreciated, Tom. It doesn't matter who tells me I appreciate you, because it's not enough. Not enough for what I've been through with these people. They lost faith in me. Probably, I don't know, you said the downfall of Jovi at one point, right?
Yes, we were talking about this year up until you winning the tag team championships. Last year was the summer of Jovi, and this year, someone even said it was the failures tour, and the fact that it was unfortunately in big match after big match, you were coming up on the short end of the stick.
I mean, yeah, and that speaks for itself as well. But, Tom, I'm going to be honest. It's about halfway through that downward spiral when I realized the fans were evil. They didn't give a crap about my losing record. They didn't give a crap if I was the world champion. They just want to pay money to see blood and all this other crap. They don't care about the rock stars of the galaxy. The only people who care about the rock stars of the galaxy are me and Mephisto. It may be you. I have no idea, but
I mean, I will say this, I do have an affinity for you, and regardless, and I understand that the fans aren't going to like a lot of the things you have done the past few months, but I have stated that your history here, is going to certainly exceed that. And I understand where the fans may feel some of those things, but, I'm a loyal guy. I like to stay loyal to the people that, got me to where I am. And I had opened here the show tonight saying that before these other rock stars that I announced here coming on this week, you were that first rock star. So yeah, I mean, I've certainly got an appreciation for you. Not everyone's going to agree with the things that, you've done to get the tag team championships at Highway to Hell. And certainly, at Dirty Deeds, we're going to talk about Winter Class 3, but, I'm not there. I haven't paid a ticket to see you in person. I've certainly donated a ticket, but I'll leave the fans to their opinions. That they're fans, right? You can look at it from that vantage point. They're fans. They're going to have opinions, and they
exist.
Look, at the end of the day, you are going to certainly have your feelings. They're going to have theirs, but let's certainly set the tables. We have Winter Class 3 coming up. We're less than 3 weeks away from that. We're going to be talking a lot about that here, I'm sure, over the next few. We have some announcements related to some individuals that I think will be at Winter Clash. Maybe we'll reveal one or two of them later on. So, Shawn, Jovi, for those that are listening and watching here in prime time on the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the platform you most certainly helped build, Sportzwire Radio. I mean, talk to me about what's ahead, where now you're going to get your hands finally on this guy, Tone the Boss, alongside Prince Achia for you and Mephisto's tag team championships.
Well, Tom, it's sad. It's pathetic. Just because I do the right thing and low blow Prince Achia right in the nuts, all of a sudden I get punished for it. Mephisto gets punished for it. Why? All we did was retain our titles. We did nothing wrong. On a low blow, how unfortunate. The ref saw it. Now I'm still champion along with Mephisto. So the way I see it, what's coming ahead for Tone the Boss, Prince Achia, and a handcuffed Dirty Donnie to our associate Ace, you're going to be disappointed. Tone, you've been to what? 2 IMF shows? Like Tom said, I've been to every single one. I haven't missed a single show. Rain or shine, health problems or not. Hell, I got sick twice over the summer, and I wrestled both of those matches when I was there. That's dedication, and that's unappreciated dedication that I have done.
I want to ask you about that. That's a good point, because one of the things I think is the topic is that you are one of a handful of people in the IMF since they've become a live venue, since they've been a company that people go out and see on a live basis. You have that 100% attendance record. And Tone DeBoss has come in here, and this is what, his third show coming up at Winter Class
He
3.
acts like he runs the place. It's
And,
garbage.
and how do you feel about that? In his third show, in his first official match, he's now getting a championship shot, where meanwhile, you've been at every IMF show since December 2023, and he's now all of a sudden coming in here and getting a shot at your championships.
Yeah, it's bogus, Tom. Who the hell gets a title shot on their debut? I couldn't think of anyone. No one relevant. So here's the thing. We're against the wall. And you know, Tom, when I'm against the wall, I try and fight back. And I don't just try. You see, I am now an angry Shawn Jovi. You could tell at the last show.
It's a different Shawn Joe from the Jovi that I met first 3.5 years ago. Before, I want to point this out, before the IMF did. You came here first. And, that's why I'm going to say, look, I do have an affinity for you because you were here first. Certainly I'm going to have a different perspective to an extent. But this is certainly not the Shawn Jovi that I first saw on here. You were definitely in a different mood. You definitely have a different perspective on things, no question. That is because of, what you've went through these last few years and how much and how far you've traveled to get to where you are. And that's going to certainly maybe be to the detriment of your opponents here coming up in Tone DeBoss and Prince Achia.
You see, Tone shouldn't have stuck his business where he didn't belong. And now I have an opportunity to take out 1 year of rage, 1 year of pent-up aggression on someone I cannot stand being in the ring. He doesn't deserve a shot. Hell, I don't even think Prince deserves a shot. He had his chance. So why do I have to face him again? That's what I want to know.
Well, even further than that, you've now got the stipulation where the man that you had mentioned is an associate of yours, Ace Diamond, is now going to be tied at ringside to Dirty Donnie, a man that obviously you just faced in the ring, and he just dove off and just threw himself at you and Mephisto, and you were once upon a time aligned with him, and now he's going to be tied at ringside to Ace Diamond. What is your thoughts on that stipulation?
Well, I guess Ace will be kept in check. That doesn't mean me and Mephisto will be. Like I said, 1 year of rage from both of us. Mephisto had a downward spiral too. No one should forget that. We fought back, and we did it the way we had to do. And now we're champs. And, as much of a threat Tone thinks he is, I've never seen him in a ring. He's a rap artist, a rap star, rock star, whatever he wants to call himself. He's not what he thinks he is. What he really is a weasel who snuck his way into my company that I helped build, that I have been to every single show for. He weasels his way in, and then he just gets a free shot. Why? Because he already got the intergalactic title off my vlog, which unfairly he low-blowed Ace Diamond, and I think that's complete crap. What kind of good rapper or champion, what kind of person would low-blow Ace Diamond?
Well, that's an interesting topic, which I wouldn't know those rules on that when it comes to the intergalactic championship. But when it comes to the tag team championship match, you say something very interesting that I see obviously upsets you there, sir, is that this is Tone DeBoss's first official match in the ring. It's one thing if he had been in multiple places and he had wrestled, and okay, he had a name. I get that. I think we've seen that before, and in the underground, it's a common thing. People have names, they know them through this platform, and they get a title shot. I think people kind of understand and they get that. But you seem to be upset at the fact that Mr. The Boss is in his first official match here in the IMF getting a championship shot at your belt, sir.
I mean, he could have faced somebody more worthy of facing him, like the Switchblades. He could just go fight the Switchblades. He could fight Midwest Express. He could fight any other team, but no, he had to stick his nose in the champion's business. That's not good. That's not right. I built this platform, and he just wants to come on here while it's on your platform, Tom, and my platform. Remember when he was on?
I remember. Yes, he was here. He was here.
You see, that's the thing. I don't like Tone's tone. Tony Boy needs to be put down. He needs to get back to earth. I think he's a little bit in outer space in his head, thinking he can defeat Shawn, Jovi, and Mephisto.
Well, it sounds
if
like
I wanted to kick Princess Chi in the dick so I save my title, I'm going to do it to him 10 times more.
Well, I'm going to certainly get to that. And let's just say, safe to say that Shawn Jovi's not listening to any of Tone DeBoss's music. He might be listening to Tone Loke instead, or he might be listening to Tony Tone. But I'll leave. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Actually, funny you should say. You know that hit single he's got, Showtime?
Yes. I've heard quite a bit about it.
Now, we have a new theme. I don't know if you saw it last show. It's called We Are the Show.
Yes.
And I just want to remind Tone the Boss and everyone in IMF, me and Mephisto aren't part of the show. We are the show. And we're going to show each and every one of you and all you stupid fans what it means to be a real tag team champion. People may not agree with it, but like I said, my career has gone out the window, and out the window, hopefully for good.
Well, I mean, obviously, there's a lot to unpack there. There are a lot of people here in the chat. We'll get to you shortly, and we are here just as a reminder with one half of the IMF Tag Team Champions, the resident rock star, Shawn Jovi, and we will now play footage of your most recent match out there, and I do want to put that up, and we'll fast forward a little bit because it is a bit of a long match, and I know everybody wants to get into the chat. So before I do anything, I'm actually going to play it from your YouTube channel because I see a bunch of people here in the chat, and if you have a chance, hit the sub button for Shawn Jovi, and we would like to get him to 900.
One thing I will like you for. If you sub, I might just like you a little bit.
Yeah, hit the sub button for him. We'll get to everybody in the chat. Yes, he's 2 subscribers away from 900. I see a dozen people here. I'm sure there's somebody here that hasn't subbed to his YouTube channel. So give him a sub, and he'll get to 900. So thank you for that. Okay, so let's go to the tape. Let's certainly get your perspective. Then I want to play another tape of something else and get your perspective on that as well. And we're going to go right back into it. So here we are. We're going to fast forward to kind of the beginnings of the match, which we'll do right now. And here we are. And there you are against Prince Chi, a man you are going to see once again here in 20 days. And talk to me about just what you expect to do this time to Prince Chi.
Well, I mean, he had me on the wrestling game. Obviously, I don't chain wrestle. I'm a big guy. There's no reason for me to chain. There's only reason for me to power. So you can't expect me to know all the chaining secrets of what he's doing here. But that's okay. He wore me down a little bit. That's fine. It's a rough start. But,
Yeah, it happens,
It happens. And I was feeling a little – this is the second show I was feeling under the weather with a little bit. And it was kind of hard. I was getting congested. I wasn't fully in full swing, but still not being in full swing and retaining the titles, I think we had a good day.
Listen, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. What matters is you've got that tag team championship, and so does Mephisto, and Prince doesn't have it. And I know Dirty is here in the chat. We'll get to him and everyone else's. So at the end of the day, look, by any means necessary, yesterday that was a topic on the show. We had on the team of Peanut Butter and Jealous, Andrew Lovelace and the Hammer Max Strong, and they're trying to win what you have in their promotion. And they said, like, look, it's by any means necessary. So really, it doesn't matter. They're in the same boat that you and Mephisto were a few months ago. So that's what it's all about. And I guess basically what you're telling us is that you're going to be 100% coming up here in 20 days, and that's going to be why you're going to keep those tag team championships. And that's going to be certainly a big loss. You won't be seeing champions in Tone DeBoss and Prince of Chia. Get it?
Yeah, I get it, Tom.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Tony Boy and Dirty and Prince of Chia. I've had past run-ins with Prince of Chia. And last I checked, I believe, I don't remember the exact record, but I believe I have beat him more than he's beat me.
Yeah.
So there's one. Two, Tone the Boss, like we said, never stepped in a ring for a sanctioned match. He may have trained a little bit. He may have did some stuff with WWE, but has he ever had a sanctioned?
But did he? Well, that's a good point.
Match?
Well, that's a good point.
Full match.
That is a good point. I mean, you have been doing this for almost 2 decades. You have been in this sport for almost 2 decades, and Mr. DeBoss may have friends in high places, but that still can't make up for what happens out there in that ring. And you're going to take out all that frustration, all that angst you have here on him in 20 days from now.
From August 31st, 2006, when I debuted in a backyard on a trampoline, there's no footage of it. It got deleted, but it's still there in my heart. What heart I have left, at least. So here's the thing. From August 31st, 2006 till November 23rd, 2025, I have been on the rise, a slow but sure rise. But the real date that matters between that time period was Highway to Hell, when I had my change of heart and took out Soulja. Since then, I haven't looked back. I haven't cared about the fans. I still just don't want anything to do with the people. They can view my vlog, great. I don't care who's viewing it, as long as somebody is. And even then, why should I care?
That's completely up to your discretion, and that is his YouTube channel. So give him a sub. He's at 898 subs, and we'll check if you get 1 or 2 more. And I'm going to go with what Peanut Butter and Jealous said last night. If you are here and have already subbed, go share it to one of your friends and their friends, and let's get the man to 900 subs so we can keep coming back on Sportswire. Yeah.
Maybe I do have a little change of heart. Maybe I'll have a surprise for sub number 900 if they're on this stream tonight and they let me know. Maybe I'll give them a certificate, Tom. I might just give them a certificate, but I might just put a middle finger on it too, just for good.
You know what? It is that
clip art in there.
It is that season, certainly. Season's greetings, I guess. Nevertheless, but that's certainly what you.
The boss is going to get a season's beating.
Maybe you think, should Mr. DeBoss just not show up at Winter Clash? Maybe he should just go stay in the studio and maybe work on next year's Iowa Music Awards instead. Because I know obviously he's been busy, doing different things and obviously being in the community. Maybe. Do you think that he should just focus on his music and maybe change his mind and maybe you'll give him a little bit of a pass? Or what do you think?
I mean, I'll give him a pass if he takes his ball and go home. I wouldn't mind. That just means it's easy pickings for me and Prince of Chia and Mephisto. Prince of Chia is going to be going down on a 2-on-1 beatdown if Tone decides not to show up. And honestly, if I were Tone, I would quake in my shoes and not even think about showing up. You should take the first bus or car ride or whatever back to your home and watch on YouTube a week later when your resident video editor finishes the show.
You said something interesting, and I want to go back to that while we're watching this match, in that you talked about Soulja GP. And I've noticed since you've won the tag team championships, tell me your thoughts on this. It seems like your fortunes have dramatically increased, whereas Soldier's fortunes right now seem to have dramatically decreased. And, we can certainly go and look at it from a few vantage points as to why. You've got these tag team championships. You've obviously now had success. You've gotten attention. You've now seemed to have gotten respect from others. And you stood on your own 2 feet. In fact, Soldier, during the telecast, kind of acknowledged that, even though he didn't necessarily agree with what you did, certainly. And then conversely, Soldier, his best friend, who we know, and we know that he was not there at Dirty Deeds. That's one thing. We also know about the All Wrestling Matters Championship, which he relinquished, and I'm sure you're going to have a thought or two on that. But most notably now, he's got to now deal with Omen Black. He's got to deal with him and what happened to his son to top that. It was one thing for him to count the 1, 2, 3 for Omen to retain the IMF Undisputed Championship, but his son was curb stomped by yet his other son. I mean, the reversal of fortunes couldn't be as dramatically different between you and Soldier GP. What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, Soldier stuck his nose in the wrong business. He wanted to face Omen Black. He faces the consequences. Now it's the downward spiral of Soldier GP and the upward spiral for the rock stars of the galaxy. Amazing how that works over time. You take a big loss and you just get in the head a little bit. And obviously at the end of the show, you saw.
I'm going to put that footage up. I'm going to ask you about that in a few minutes. We're gonna do that. Maybe we'll do that during the chat because I know people really want to talk to you tonight. I'm sure some will like. Well, you are the draw. You said you are the draw of Sportswire, and you certainly have brought a lot of people out tonight. We really appreciate that, and hopefully people will like some of the announcements we have later on for some rock stars coming on here. But no, I think in recap, it's an interesting point that I figured you'd have an opinion on because, like I said, you've won these tag team championships. Look at where you are now. You stood on your own 2 feet. You've got an associated seams now. You've got the respect of certain people in the locker room that hadn't before. You've shown now what you're capable of and what the fans forgot. And then, like I said, Soldier is obviously now dealing with this situation with Omen coming up at Winter Clash 3. We saw what happened to his son, and we know his son has been dealing with so many health issues. Obviously, his own heart condition and his other son curb stomping his son, Dominic. And then also what happened with you losing those tag team championships. And even what he went through with Jason Storm and what he went through and then to go to Michigan and everything else. And I mean, and his tag team partner, his best friend. I mean, his best friend is obviously, as it was mentioned during the telecast, not there. And we know the main event had changed. And those are things that just, to me, it's just a complete role of reversals here between you and Soldier GP, just pointing that out. I mean, he couldn't have any more of a difficult situation going into Winter Clash, whereas you at least have some momentum going into this.
Yeah, it's amazing how the tides have turned at this point. But hey, karma comes around. And Soldier used me in the foundation. I've said it before. I became the laughingstock. I became the lackey. I was the joke. I'm not the joke anymore. I surpassed joke level. I am now on a serious level as a serious contender and threat to this entire underground scene.
Listen, there's no question about any of that. And on top of that, you pinned Soldier GP to win those tag team championships. So there is certainly no question that little brother right now is ahead of bigger brother, and big brother's got
so much for big brother being little brother. Soldier, I hit you in a chair and I kicked your ass. Deal with it.
That's obviously what Mr. Jovi is telling us, and like I said, little brother is a one up to big brother, and we'll see what happens with big brother. Certainly, I'm sure talk about that in the coming weeks. But there is where the match is about to end here shortly, and after what you went through with Dirty. But listen, you got to do what you got to do to keep those championships. Bottom line.
Yeah. Again, Look at that. Look at that slap.
Look
Look at that.
You know what? I wouldn't mess with you on no chance with that. And obviously, Prince is trying to do his best possible, but yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we're
going to
having a
start.
kicking contest here.
Well,
Obviously, he didn't want to play around, so I played
yeah.
around and kicked him in the nuts.
Well, you know what?
Keep
Look,
going,
it's by any means necessary. Mephisto comes in there and picks up the pieces, and
as wrong as
there's
people
no.
feel about it, Tom,
Mhm.
that was hilarious what we did.
And
That was
but
funny. I thought it was great. Are you people
yeah,
not sports entertained?
but Tone the Boss is not too thrilled, and he certainly went after Ace Diamond once again, and he comes out and but it's in 20 days from now not going to be the same, where he's not going to have a chair in his hand. He's going to have to deal with you right in that ring, mano a mano.
Yeah, he's not going to have a choice. The resident rock star is here to collect, and what he's collecting, and along with Mephisto, is the very soul of Tone the Boss. We want to ruin everything he's supposedly built because we think that rap is crap and the rock stars of the galaxy are the way to go.
Well, you know
It's
what?
unbelievable.
Go ahead.
It's unbelievable Dirty had to make that announcement. Like I said, they don't deserve a shot. Prince had his shot. Tone's not even a wrestler. What the hell is going on in this Fed that I helped build?
Would you say that it's nepotism? Would you say it's unfair? I mean, this is a topic that we've actually used about you, but it seems like what comes around goes around, and maybe even more prevalent here because this is Tone the Boss's first ever match, period. It's not, as I stated, as if he had been somewhere else and come to the IMF and he had maybe done things in other places or had been known here. This is his first official in-ring match, and his first official in-ring match is at the biggest show the IMF has ever produced, and it's going to be for your tag team championship you're holding right there.
Yeah, it's true. He's got a shot. The problem is, it's also his last shot by the time we're done with him.
We'll play that announcement here for the audience. They can hear it.
What? You sloppy sons of bitches! I'm fucking tired of this shit! I might not be able to get the fucking job done. But next month, here at Winter Clash, those fucking titles are on the line again. Against Prince of Tia and Tone the Boss.
Wait, what? Whoa!
Ace!
Whoa! Did he just say?
Stick around. Because your ass is going to be handcuffed to me at ringside.
What? Whoa! That's a banger, is it not?
Well, obviously, you talked about that, and we've gotten into that at length, and certainly that goes further into your point. I could see Mr. Diamond being visibly upset toward that, and we'll, I'm sure, be talking plenty of that. But let's get to some people in the chat. I want to talk to you about the end of the main event where you came out, and we'll certainly get to what everybody has to say. First is not Zilla, but Ox McCoy, the enforcer of Sportswire Radio, and he was a part of that main event and wanted to say hi, and hi, Daddy. Okay.
That's an inside joke.
Okay, fair enough. I was waiting for that, waiting for the punchline. Zilla is here next, and she wanted to say hello. Thank you, Zilla. Also, there you go. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much for sending your prayers to Mark Kendall. Really, really tough news to hear that. And obviously, that's the story that was in Blabbermouth today about, well, not quite that, but about Mr. Kendall, cancer. And as a matter of fact, it sounds like he got this right after, a few months after coming here on Sportswire. So you can check the article out there on Blabbermouth, and we're referenced a few times on the site of late. So we appreciate that, and get well soon. And we're praying for his family, his fans, and everybody that got a chance to watch our interview. Let's get to some more comments. Cam is here. Yes, thank you, and hello, thank you, Cam. Also, Shawn, for you, Shawn Jovi, Hillbilly Tilly, another BYW legend, wanted to say 2 legends of the underground. Thank you. Well, Shawn Jovi and Hillbilly Tilly are the legends, but we'll appreciate that. I have a feeling that Camo Cam's father is going to be one of those fans upset with you, but we'll get to some more comments. The Running Rebel, formerly known as Michael Blackheart, wants to say, hey, Shawn, we never got to meet, but we have shared many mutual opponents. Yeah, one of them is, I believe, Remy Ravage, and the other one is someone that you did reference that is, was supposed to have been in the main event of Dirty Deeds, and well, it's what it is. He is also the Hall of Fame monitor of Sportswire Radio. He's the Hall of Fame monitor of Sportswire Radio, Justin Parsley. But well, look, it is what it is. He's still the hall monitor here on Sportswire. What can I tell you? But what's that?
He said he's not going to be able to monitor my hall.
Oh, well, obviously you guys may not be seeing each other in the halls at this moment, but we do appreciate that. I'll leave
the bike racks, if anything.
You know what? I don't even know how to ride a bike. When can Camo Cam be on Sports by Radio? I will get back to you on that. Thank you, Cam. Great question. I will certainly get back to you on it. But I think her dad is not a fan of yours. Jovi is a very good wrestler. It's too bad he is a heel now. I will see him lose, though. I think he meant to say lose, but he said lose those titles.
I think some nuts in his head are loose because
I
agree that I'm a great wrestler, but it's not too bad that I'm a heel now. It's the best thing I've ever done. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. And losing these, there's no option for that. It's going to be around a long time. These rock stars of the galaxy are here to stay.
Well, he's going to have
to Jimmy boy.
Jimbo is going to have some more comments, and I'll get to them. I am doing the chop and war chanting along with Tom. I appreciate that. I'm glad somebody likes the war chops. Well, Mark Farner did like them of Grand Funk Railroad. And yeah, Jim doesn't like you. He keeps saying boo Jovi, and he also said he said your old news. He meant to say lose, but he said loose the titles. I don't know.
Still nuts in his head are loose, man. He's got the wrong guy for being old news. The old news. The old news is going to be telling the boss after Winter Clash.
Well, Soldier is still going to be news, and I want to say hello to the general manager of EPW, Mr. AJ Harrison. Will be back on the next week. I wanted to say you sound a little bit like RVD. He was enjoying your promo. That's a good analogy. You do have a voice a little bit like him. That was a good one. Thank you, AJ.
I never thought of that.
The Dawn of Combat. Thank you, AJ, very much. Yep. Hello to the TPW US champion. Yes, he is. And obviously a organization that you may have heard of. Wanted to say hello. Definitely wanted to say hello. Well, a second awkward segment of moment for the show with you. One guy, Justin Parsley, in there. A place you definitely stopped around the block or two. Obviously, Jim wants to say tone. Price. He meant to say Prince because there's no price.
No, there's a price on his head, and the price is me destroying him at Winter Clash. Ooh, Tom left the show. It's my show now. Finally. I don't know how to get some more comments. But let's just make one. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, sorry, technical difficulties there. But go ahead. You were saying.
Well, first off, I ran the show for like half a minute, so you're welcome, Tom.
Oh, thank you. Well,
yeah, your disappearance was not in vain.
Well, I do have something for you. Hopefully, it'll make up for it. But
all right.
Yeah, I do. I promise I do have something for you. We'll have to put it up on the screen later. But a cheater, and he wanted to say, Ox wanted to say you did it right in the nuts. I'm going to let that one pass. I'm going to give Ox. I'm going to say Ox. We can go with that comment. I can say it on Sportswire. So yeah, you used it in the nuts. Yes, you definitely hit him right in the nuts. Yes, you did.
Yeah. I'm damn proud of it too.
And hey, Ox, yes, there you go. We'll let that go. And speaking of people that you know very well, I mean, how is things going between you two? By the way, how are things going? That was funny.
Stay tuned.
Okay, good enough. Good enough.
It's the best storyline the vlog will ever have.
Domestic problems. Hopefully not.
No, I would never beat my man.
I'm glad to hear that.
I'm actually wrestling him.
Well, that's a different conversation for a different time. Speaking of people that I can safely announce will be here Friday night, and a man that you have certainly have shared residency once before, that's Mr. Johnny Velocity, who has more gold to his resume. He's been a busy man. He wrestled first for the ROEW Prestige Championship that he holds and successfully had retained his championship against one Kyle Kaplan. You probably have heard of him. And also, he had won the EWA Eternal Championship against one DJ Storm. I was watching that today. And he'll be here at 9 o'clock on Friday, by the way. He will be here at 9 o'clock Eastern time. Speaking of which, I wanted to ask you if I could, because we have a new All Wrestling Matters champion, and that is one Gabe Sayers, the Heartstopper. And I wanted to ask you what your thoughts were on that, on Gabe Sayers becoming the All Wrestling Matters champion, because it's kind of a nice little quirk there that has representation with the championship, and I would love for you to talk about it.
As much as Gabe Sayers and I are kind of on opposite spectrums here, I'm really happy it went to him. I understand Felix has a lot of future talent in him. He's got a lot going for him. But Gabe Sayers, it just feels right. And here's the reason. I want to tell everyone a fun fact right now that's got me so excited I can't contain it. The GBYWN and All Wrestling Matters championships are in the same federation now.
Whoa! Wow!
If you think about it, Radley Belmont, the GBYWN champion, is a part of TF Crew, is he not?
Yes, he is a main player in that company.
Know.
Absolutely.
You never know. I mean, if there's something I want to put on my Christmas list, it's him and Rad Dad going at it as in a championship showcase. That's my Christmas wish, at least in that form. The other Christmas wish is a big celebration after I beat Tone the Boss and Prince of Chia. We're going to throw a party, and it's going to be great. Everyone in Green Bay will rejoice. Everyone outside of Green Bay will rejoice because the bad guys are finally getting what we want. And whether they like it or not, they will rejoice because it's better with us as champions than that washed up Prince of Chia and that wannabe Tone the Boss.
Well, I am sure that he is here, Tone the Boss, and I will get to him when we get through some of these other comments. I have no doubt that he will be a big topic very, very soon. So you will have to certainly wait for that shortly, but we will get to him and other comments shortly. So I'll have to give you something as well. And Johnny Velocity, by the way, is here Friday night, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Speaking of champions, and man that you have shared a locker room with, and a man that will have plenty to say as he makes his long-awaited return to Sportswire Radio. Tone will get hurt. Well, that's what Jovi's been telling us here. Yeah, that's the whole thing he's been saying.
World of hurt.
And speaking of people that I know definitely are not fans of yours, but did say hello, and obviously would probably be upset about the main event being what it was at Dirty Deeds last week. And that's
that horrible human being gave me the finger at the show. So thank you. Thank you.
Well, you know what? Well, obviously they're not fans of yours, but Gabe, we see Gabe there winning the All Wrestling Matters Championship, and Gabe in his own right is also the IMF Hardcore Champion, and he's going to have his hands full with the enforcer of Sports by Radio, Ox McCoy. So Gabe, listen, he may have 2 belts, but he's going to have to fight like hell to keep those belts. And you made a good point, because in his company, the TF Crew, not only does he have Rad Dad Radley Bell, but a man you know very well, and a man that has been here many times on Sports Radio, but he's also got the TF Crew YouTube champion, the Prince, the Angel Santiago, the Puerto Rican Prince Angel Santiago, a man that has just beaten Rad Dad Radley Belmont, and I'm sure he's eyeing that championship as well to take away from Gabe Sayers, and I'm sure there's a lot there that Gabe Sayers is going to be dealing with. Rad Dad would love to maybe be a double champion. Angel Santiago would love to be a double champion. On top of that, Gabe Sayers is going to deal with Ox McCoy here at Winter Clash 3.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell Gabe's a fighting champion. He won 2 championships that night. What kind of average human being can gloat about that? You know, he's phenomenal, a phenomenal talent. I can't.
He's a great guy. No, Gabe, I got to be honest, Gabe is a great guy. He's been on Sportswire many times. I've met the guy in real life, and good dude. Really, really passionate about this sport. He's really, with his own company, TF Crew, done a lot of great things, giving guys opportunities. GTS also being a part of GTS. He was the GTS hardcore champion.
Mm-hmm.
He is now the IMF hardcore champion. That's a really cool feat there. Two of the premier companies in the underground and on YouTube. Gabe has won hardcore championships there. He's been the NEW. He's their champion. Done great things there. Another great company, NEW. And now he's got the All Wrestling Matters Championship. So Gabe is obviously definitely a worthy person to hold the All Wrestling Matters Championship. But he's going to have his hands full. Like I said, he's going to have his hands full, especially with Angel Santiago. TF Crew has a show here coming up in January, right? The first week in January. And then on top of that, he's going to be here at Winter Clash. So he's got Rad Dad, your old friend, Angel Santiago, who just beat Rad Dad. They're going to want that. And like I said, he's got Ox McCoy for that hardcore title. So Gabe's a busy man, and I have a feeling we're going to talk with him about it for sure.
Yeah. I'm excited for what happens in TF Crew with that championship. There is a world of possibilities.
It's a great roster. In fact, we have one of their up-and-coming talents that are going to be here in sports to promote their show in January, which is Caster. Caster's one of those guys I have long been a fan of. He's going to be here. Christopher Black is another guy. The whole thing with the Syndicate, he's a guy to certainly keep an eye on. Another great guy in the roster. And they got this guy, Jimmy Controversy, who's everywhere. And he's a part of the TF Crew. And a lot of great talents are in the TF Crew. Jake Dvorak, obviously a guy that is wrestling. My old friend Eric X Black. And, they've got some amazing talent. So please, support the TF Crew. And congratulations to Gabe. And well deserved. And he fought like hell to win those two championships, the IMF's hardcore championship and the All Wrestling Matters title, but he's going to have to fight like hell to keep him. But Dirty is here, and you know what time it is. This is in no way your company, Jovi. In fact, you turned your back on your supposed company pal, and December 13th will be your dirty day.
There's no dirty day. There's no dirty way. We're going to win, Dirty. You're handcuffed to Ace. What are you going to do about it when we retain our titles? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You're not going to stop us because you made a terrible stipulation by handcuffing Ace to yourself. Now you can't save Tone the Boss and Prince of Chia from what we're going to do to them.
Well, time is going to certainly tick and tick-tock, and there is Gavel Payne, and I'm always listening when Gavel Payne is here on Sportswire, so he can be rest assured that when Gavel Payne speaks, I'm definitely listening, and we appreciate him coming on here. And a man that caused some pain for one man you referenced that is no longer I guess going to be on the Winter Class 3 show, who is, I guess, supposed to have been a part of the main event. And we saw what happened there with him. And Gavel Payne is a guy that I'm definitely not going to get on his wrong side of the bed. And yes, Ox is here. And thank you for being here. And also saying, Jovi, you're a dumb fill in the blank.
Spelled it wrong.
Well,
I think you're the one
spelling is obviously not in his arsenal there.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm
listening. Some screws loose there.
You know what? I'm not going there. And yes, I'm definitely listening to you, Gavel. And I'm listening to everybody here in this chat. I listen to everybody. Please hit the sub button for Shawn Jovi. Please also hit the sub button for the IMF. We would really appreciate we support the IMF there. Almost at 4,000 subscribers. So please do me a favor. Go out there and sub to the IMF. 4,000 subscribers is definitely a large number. And please let them get there. And let's help them if you're here tonight. So also Jovi's YouTube channel. Go give him a sub because he's almost at 900. He's still at 898. We have like 14 people in the stream on YouTube. So if you can, I'm going to put it up one more time. I'll do it throughout the remaining 20 or 30 minutes, but go out there and sub to Shawn Jovi's YouTube channel. Just go out there and do it. So there you go.
Whether you like me or not, you love to hate me. So please hit that sub.
Well, speaking of people that I am certainly going to be very curious about what they have to say here. coming up this Saturday night, the same time you're here. That's Jason Storm. Jason Storm, I'm sure you have a few words to say about him. I think a lot of people were taken back about what happened in his match afterwards with Soldier GP, and he had come out after in the main event. And what would you have to say about Jason Storm, the outlaw Jason Storm now, who's got his job back in ROW? ROW is a lot to talk about there, obviously, and Mr. Velocity is going to be here to talk about that Friday night, and Jason's here right afterwards. I mean, he doesn't seem to like you anymore. I thought he liked you. I guess not, Jason Storm.
I guess when fools have a change of heart, it just happens. And also in response, your fat ass likes to eat corn the long way, so I wouldn't say nothing about me sucking eggs if I were you.
Well, you know what? Those aren't my words. I am certainly not going to say that, but Jason Storm's going to have a lot to say. He hasn't been here in months on Sportswire. You know, when Jason Storm is here, he's got something to say, and usually he comes on every few months, and there'll be plenty to say. And, speaking of which, I did want to get your perspective on that main event and what happened, and I have the footage in the background, and Jason Storm had come out for that and such. And, I mean, what happened there? What you came out, and we saw what happened to Soldier's son. What's your feelings on all that?
The price was right. You see, I don't know if you noticed on one of the last vlogs, the Iowa one, Ace and Omen were talking business.
Yes, I did
and
see
the
that.
business
That
end of it was we take care of our previous problem, Soldier GP. And look at that. We did that. Soldier's down and out right there. And then when we come in, he's going to be restrained. He's going to have to watch the torture that he is about to endure with his family. It's unfortunate for him. I honestly don't feel for the guy. Maybe I feel a little bit bad, but the problem is
what?
And it's only because those kids looked up to me as an uncle at one time. Mm-hmm. Felix still does. He's the only good one. Everyone else are just brats.
But was it too much to see Soldier's young son have to go through that, and especially with what he's dealing with in his day-to-day life? I mean, was that?
If he wanted to be safe from the wrestling business, he wouldn't have even showed up. He put himself in the wrong place at the wrong time in the middle of the wrong feud. That's not my problem.
So are you saying that's bad parenting? Is that something that you're saying? And I mean, Felix has been here, and I'm not going there, but I just want to point that I am not getting in the middle of that. But Felix has certainly talked about the issues there of the bad parenting, I suppose. And are you sort of implying the same thing?
I mean, he's a terrible older brother, so what makes him a better father?
I mean, maybe his son is a wrestling fan. Maybe he also wanted to see Gabe Sayers as someone that, I know Gabe has been giving him a lot of motivation and has been talking to him through social media, I'm sure, and FaceTiming. And, he looks up to Gabe.
He's a great influence on Dominic. I'll at least give him that.
So maybe he wanted to see Gabe Sayers out there live. Gabe's not here every show in the IMF. Maybe that's why he wanted to be there, but he was in harm's way. But you don't feel sorry for what happened there.
It's unfortunate, but I feel nothing.
And coming out there was obviously a business decision, and also that was something that you would do anytime. And obviously Ace and Omen had a deal, and you guys came out there, and also what you've went through with Soldier. I mean, that's what it was, basically.
That's what happens when, I don't know, when you think you run the place and you don't. The dogs in the asylum are loose. The dogs have been let out. Who let the dogs out? Ace Diamond.
Yeah,
Ace Diamond,
I mean, you can do that.
The worst Shawn Jovi anyone will ever see. The meanest Jovi, the harshest Jovi. the one that is not afraid to tell the fans they freaking suck.
Well, I
That's
mean,
all
listen,
gotta say.
look at Anthony Steele, what he went through there, and obviously, I'm not going to
I've had
ask.
my battles with Steele too. He deserved that all the way.
Well, I'm not going there with him.
110%.
People are, there are going to be people out there that probably were happy about that Anthony Steele had went through that, but I'm going to certainly sidestep that, but not awkward at all that Felix was the one that curb stomped his brother. I mean, that's not awkward at all to you.
It's family matters. I mean, none of my business. I'm just there to do what I was told to do. And watch Slowja be upset at the same time, which is music to my ears.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I'm with you. I'm not going to get involved in family disputes. I hope for the best. I just thought maybe you had an opinion or thought that what Felix did to his own brother might have been a little bit awkward or unfortunate, but like, them better than I would. So, I'm not going there at this point. We certainly don't want to get in the middle of anything, and we just hope for the best.
See Dirty Donnie down. He deserved that. Maybe hopefully he has a big enough concussion to where he won't show up. So
I can't endorse anybody getting concertos, but I understand you have certainly a different perspective. I can understand that, and I am obviously going to never tell anybody they shouldn't have an opinion. You know better, and I'm sure though one thing that Felix and his brother Dominic are probably going to be sharing Christmas cards together, or maybe Thanksgiving this year is going to be a little awkward there at the Soldier House. But, I certainly hope for the best, and I guess we'll get to some more comments. But as we could see the footage, I would say a little bit much for my taste, but who am I to judge? Listen, it's a little heinous for me, but like you said, these guys and gals better than I would. And I was Jovi's biggest fan. Now he's a piece of fill in the blanks in my book. Yeah, John, Jim is not a fan of yours. And obviously, speaking of brotherly love, Johnny Velocity was happy, though, about Jason Storm defeating Matthew Forsaken and ROBW yesterday at the historic anniversary 3 for Jason Storm to get his job back, which we'll be talking about. But yeah, there's the footage. And a little too much for my taste. We're going to take that off the screen. If you don't mind me wanting to take that off the screen, because it's a little much for my taste. I got a lot of comments to get to. I brought the Velocity Forsaken. Hello, all. That is Jason Storm. He has a lot to say Saturday night. I hope you'll be. I got to say it, Jovi. I got a bunch of announcements, and I got to give you something still. But Thanksgiving, a guy, James Taylor, is going to be here. You probably heard of him, right? James Taylor.
Wait. He's not dead yet? I thought he disappeared.
Nope.
In thin air.
He's going to be wrestling for his company. He'll be talking about the Omega Championship Wrestling. He is wrestling there in Mississippi. He'll be talking about that on Thanksgiving, 9:00 Eastern time. Friday, we've got Johnny Velocity, double champion. He's back home, a man you've lived with, and a man you certainly had plenty to say for just now. Saturday night, 9:15 p.m. Eastern time. Jason Storm, the outlaw Jason Storm. So, I mean, you're getting him in threes. I mean, three men that you certainly have a lot of history with in many ways and shared locker rooms with, and they're going to be back all in threes. They say it comes in threes, and you're getting them. Taylor, Velocity, and Storm.
You're missing the most important one. Me. I'm here first. Out of that whole lineup, I'm here first. So you know what that means? I'm number one.
Well,
I'm number one. Right now, just like your radio station, I am number one.
You did help build it, but I couldn't say in fours because we have a break between, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So, I couldn't schedule them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but nevertheless, they'll be here. The good guy, Jason Storm, I don't know if he's the good guy, Jason Storm, but I have noticed a lot of injustice. Well, Gavel Pain has certainly given a lot of pain, and I'm not going to get in the middle of that. So, yeah, we want to make sure we keep going. Camo Cam needs a shirt. It's only 20 days away. And Jade, you're welcome. Glad you like it. Jade and Jason Storm, friends, fans, who knows? Hello to, well, he's not the puppet master. We're close enough. The good guy, Ox, yes, hello. Jovi, you did what you had to do for you. I'm always your fan. I'm with Velocity. there's people I know. I know you have differences of opinions on Jason Storm. I know you have differences of opinions on James Taylor. I know you have differences of opinions on Justin Parsley. But I stick to the people that were here. It's like Shawn Jovi. I'm loyal to Shawn Jovi, and I'm always going to be, partial to those that have been here. So I got to understand half for where.
I have more respect for Kron than anyone else in the underground.
Yeah, well, yeah,
and it's just because of his summer bash.
Yeah,
she's a good guy. Honestly,
a good man, a great man, a great man.
He's a great man. I gotta give him that. I mean,
I have an affinity for him. He's a man that I, will definitely be honoring on Friday. Yes, that's where I do agree. Pack the house on the 13th of 7th. I'm donating a ticket, so please, somebody go and come to the show. A lot of people were there at Dirty Deed. Let's get an even bigger crowd. Yeah, how are you? Let's get to some more comments. Yep, we'll see you on the 13th. I can work on getting you a shirt or two. That's great. And not Omen versus Soldier. That's going to hurt. I'm related to both of them. I didn't know you related to both of them, but okay. Well, it's going to hurt. It's going to definitely hurt. And somebody's going to have to, I guess, say, I quit. I mean, but I guess for you, it's going to be Soldier. It's going to say, I quit, right?
Yeah, he'll quit. Omen doesn't. Omen knows pain,
and Omen's walking out December 31st as champion, and that's it. He's walking out. Soldier needs to win this. I mean, it's do or die for Soldier, literally.
Because think about this. Omen is one of the most dangerous men I have ever encountered.
You wrestled him. You wrestled him.
Yeah, I did. And 3 Doors Down Forever. And I didn't leave that match the same person as I was going in. And that's the thing with Omen Black. He is so dangerous that I think Soldier doesn't stand a ghost of a chance. In fact, who knows? Omen might make him a ghost in our federation by the time he's done with them. We don't know. We'll find out December 13th at Iconics.
We're going to find out. Yes, we are going to find out, and we'll be talking a lot about it.
For Omen, I think he is the hottest thing in IMF. Soldier, he's gone cold. He's ice cold now. He's brought back down to Soldier.
I brought that point up. Good point you made, because I said, listen, your fortunes have dramatically increased. These last 2 months dramatically decreased.
Yeah, it's the downward spiral of Soldier GP. I love it.
Well, Jade said her dad was so mad at Felix for what he did to Dominic. She was crying, but my dad was mad.
Your tears are our soundtrack, Jade.
Soldier will get hurt, and Jim, no, he won't. That's my uncle. Watch it. Yeah, Dirty, because you suck. Speaking of people, by the way, big shout out. I gotta give a shout out to somebody, if you don't mind, who's up at 3:22 in the morning and is coming back here next Wednesday. That is the Tribal Cheese, who's been up like the last 4 or 5 of my shows on Sportswire. He's coming back home. He's going to be here 3 o'clock Eastern time. And he's up at 3:22 because he loves Shawn Jovi. He and I were talking. He was very excited about you coming on, and he's been tuning into my shows recently, and he just
That's good. I have mad respect for the Tribal Cheese. From one Wisconsinite to a man who is the tribal leader of the cheese, I can have some respect there.
He's a good man.
In their own right.
He's a good man. He just surpassed 5,000 subscribers, 5,000 on his YouTube channel, and he's back here next Wednesday. He hasn't been here in about 9 months, so I'm very excited to see him back.
I haven't seen him on the headlines at all.
Well, I haven't been here much during the day, and I had dental surgery in the summer, and I worked a lot, and but now it's time to bring back those that have not been here in a while. It's Velocity, Storm, and you're getting the Tribal Cheese, and I guess Taylor. But Taylor's been here so many times over the years that it's almost like, people would say, well, they're, but he'll be back on Thanksgiving. He'll have plenty to say. Tune in for that. Why do I have to be related to half the roster? Good God. I don't know.
You're not related to me.
I'm going to leave that at that. We shall wait and see. I used to be Jovi's biggest fan. My wife was too. Now I can't stand him. Can't wait. It's lose. I understand your point.
I hope that's autocorrect, because you're just failing big time, Jim.
Now, there's a guy here that certainly wants to say something, and that is Tone DeBoss. DeBoss is here.
About time he showed up. Better late than never.
And yes, she's been seeing Showtime all day. Jovi better not take my.
She should be listening to We Are the Show our theme song, I think that's a little bit more appropriate to listen to. Rap isn't appropriate for young fans.
Well, there's some comments I got to get to here. And speaking of which, he wants to say, let's go.
Wait, back up. Back that up. Pretty please. No, not that one. The one with the sign.
Okay. There you go. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Yeah. You want me to lose the titles and stay out of town? If you do bring a sign, I want to destroy that sign and throw it in your face, Jim, because just like everyone else, you turned on me when I needed you most.
Jim is definitely not a happy man tonight. Jade flipped Jovi off, which we by the way, I would say don't do that at wrestling shows. I would always tell our wrestling fans to be respectful to the wrestlers, but some people take matters into their own hands. There was that one guy famously months ago that got thrown out, right? Because Omen Black beat the hell out of him. So please be careful when it comes to these wrestlers. Jovi's not in a great mood tonight. I always tell people, please be respectful. And as an IMF super fan, Jovi is voted off the island. But Tone DeBoss says he's unstoppable. And he's the voice of the champions, the king of Iowa, the man of many manifestations, and Mr. Top Tier every year. That's what he says, obviously.
Yeah, he's talking to me because I don't know if you remember, Tom, I was the first king of Palo.
You were, I guess.
And by the time I pin Tone DeBoss, you can call me King of Iowa. You can call me Mr. Iowa. You can call me whatever you want, but the name of conquering Iowa will be mine.
Well, you know what? If the prophecy allows it, well, that's
I think it will.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yes, we appreciate that. Please hit the sub button for the IMF and hit the sub button for Shawn Jovi. Just do it, and let's see what else we've got here. Yes, happy early Thanksgiving Day to everybody, and I'm excited for tomorrow's episode. Yes, well, tomorrow, speaking of which, I could actually announce it here. Well, it's not quite tomorrow now, but I do have a couple of announcements. If I could, before I get to more comments and get to finally give you something, I want to announce a few things. First of all, next Sunday in your chair, I can safely say this person will be here. And there's this band. If you're a heavy metal fan, you think about the bands that created thrash metal. And you think about Metallica. You think about Anthrax, Slayer. And there's this band called Megadeth. And this band Megadeth, most people would know them, Dave Mustaine. And, we're getting not one, but two members of that band Megadeth. But first, the first person that's coming here next Sunday is the man that was the guitarist for arguably one of the most influential albums, in my humble opinion, not only in thrash metal and in Megadeth's history, and that is Mr. Chris Poland. Everybody knows the song Peace Sells and Who's Buying, and he was the guy that played guitar on that album, and he's going to be here next Sunday. He'll be here next Sunday, and I hope people would tune into that. And then right after that, we're going to have on the other guy that was, I don't know, the co-founding member of the band. And it's this guy, David Ellefson. Yeah, David Ellefson, only the guy that played on some of the biggest albums in heavy metal history. And they're coming on to Sportzwire. They're coming on here, and it's an honor. And I would hope people check out Mr. Ellefson's Instagram page and check out some of what he has to offer. He's got a new album out. He's got some touring he wants to talk about. And Mr. Jovi may be the resident rock star, but we do have some other rock stars that'll be coming onto the platform, and certainly Chris Poland and David Ellefson are two of the biggest heavy metal rock stars that there has ever been produced. And we thank you, Mr. Jovi, for giving us the opportunity to get to those rock stars. I hope that you'll see the chair when they come on here starting next Sunday and talk about their careers and humbly on this platform. So we're so honored and grateful for the opportunity to speak with these two men. And we want to thank everybody for that opportunity. So I hope you'll be okay with them coming on your platform, Mr. Jovi.
Might as well. I mean, it gives you the views, Tom. It gives you publicity. That gets me one step further to meeting my father, John Bon Jovi.
We're getting closer. I did tell you. We're getting closer. Listen, I had Josie Scott of Saliva, Mark Farner of Grand Funk Railroad. we mentioned Mark Kendall. I've had Doug Pinnick at King's X. Now we have the Megadeth guys. We're getting closer. I'm getting closer. So we're getting there. Seeing my cousin get his head stomped in was torture. Jovi stay in Wisconsin. Happy early Thanksgiving, Zilla. Yes, happy Thanksgiving, Zilla. We do want to say
If
that.
you don't watch out, I'm going to move to Iowa.
Well, we had Robert Scott, who Mr. Velocity shares a locker room with, went from New York to Ohio. Boo Taylor. Well, James Taylor is coming on. He has a lot to say, and I'm excited to have James Taylor back home.
What's all about that, James Taylor?
I didn't think James Taylor did anything wrong to anybody. He's talking about his company, OCW, and I'm excited about it. He's in the ring in 2 weeks. I think Soldier has the ability to take down Omen. I know what Soldier and Omen are capable of. It's an objective point, and I respect that. Tone time is in his own time, aka Showtime, and Shawn.
We are the show. Remember that, Tone.
Yeah, I see that. I didn't hear you retiring by any chance. I'm just going to.
That ain't happening anytime soon. Not again. Last time I retired was 2010.
Yeah,
actually, no, it was 2017. But
I know. Listen, I have an announcement when Jason and Johnny are on here about somebody coming on who may talk about retirement, but I'm going to leave that to them. But it'll definitely be someone we know in our community. James is here. Thank you, James. Thank you, James, for being here. I'm excited for one to see James. I think people will want to hear what James has to say. I will say Omen is the only man to have ever put me on the shelf with an injury, one tough customer. It's an objective point. Nothing wrong with that. Have a great night. God bless you. Hope you come back here next week when Jason Storm is here, and have a safe Thanksgiving. Yes, please be safe out there on the road. Please be safe. And hi, Gavel, and hi. All right, I got to give you something before I get to some final words. So I want to do this. We've talked a lot about rock stars. We talked a lot about past. We've talked a lot about present. But I think there's something that you'll gladly take, and you actually haven't gotten this yet because the rock stars of the galaxy are now in the Sportzwire Radio Hall of Fame.
I'm A-okay with that. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Another prize for me to put on the wall of fame.
Yep. Well, definitely. You are inching closer to Hall of Fame inductions. Certainly.
Yeah, maybe they should make me the hall monitor now.
No, he's still the hall monitor. He didn't do anything wrong on Sportswire, and I can't do that. That's not, I understand, there are other things. I'm not going to get into that. I'm with Soldier. We're, as he said on the telecast, we're going to be professional, and I don't know enough of those things to comment, and I want to keep it that way. And he's a part of the platform, just like, James, there was things there once upon a time. And I'm loyal to those that have been on my platform and I support. So we're going to leave that at that. But we have talked a lot tonight. We have talked a lot. And I want to give you the opportunity, although I have a feeling you'll be back on here before December 13th. I have no doubt about that. But if you had any final words for now, your opponents, Prince Achia, but especially Tone DeBoss, what would they be?
What would they be?
Yeah.
Get your seatbelts on and go for a ride to the galaxy of the rock stars. You can show up, but it's going to be the biggest mistake you will ever make in your entire career. The rock stars of the galaxy are here to stay. We have brought legitimacy to these tag team titles, whether people agree with it or not. I don't care. I know what I say, and I know what I mean, and I mean everything I say. That's the thing. People need to believe, and if they actually believed, maybe I'd still be the face of Sportswire. Maybe I'd still be.
You are the face of sports.
You're right.
First of all,
the baby face of Sportswire.
Well, look, people listen. I'm going to steal what Anthony said. People have opinions like they have. You fill in the blanks. There's going to be people. Listen, not every person. Listen, there are people that listen. Aaron Blaze comes on here. Some people don't like Aaron Blaze on Sportswire. Some people Comatose comes on here. Some people don't like when Comatose comes on here. We mentioned Anthony Steele. There are people that listen. I'm not in the business of getting into who likes or what. I'm loyal to the people that come on here. People can have their feelings. They're fans. They have every right to do that. I'm loyal to you. You've been here. I understand something. Look, there's some things I think I wish would be different, certainly. But it is what it is. And I am certainly looking forward to what's ahead on December 13th. You will be a topic, I have no doubt on. And, Jason Storm's going to be here Saturday. He'll be talking about you. And I'm sure James Taylor will even mention you on Thanksgiving. And Johnny Velasa, you'll be here. And I have a few more guests before the 13th that will unveil right before then. That I'm sure we'll talk about you then there too. So there's a lot to get into. And I'm excited about it.
I'm excited for what's to come, Tom. The beating that they're going to take, the victory me and Mephisto are going to have. It's going to be a white, happy Christmas. It's going to be the happiest, merriest Christmas of all time because we're going on 1 year since I made my decree about winning these titles.
It was crazy. You know what? And that's the bottom line is that, to quote James Taylor, there can't be no other way. You said at Christmas last year that you wanted in 2025 tag team gold. You had never held tag team championship gold before. You hadn't been in a tag team in years. And no matter what, the ups and downs you went through, the peaks and valleys, you were up, you were down, you were mostly down, but you got what you wanted. So at the end of the day, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter whether people like it, people don't like it. At the end of the day, if you end 2025 with what you wanted in 2024, that's all that counts.
Yeah, I would say so. But before we get off the air tonight, Tom, I do have one more thing to address, and I talked to you a little bit about it.
Yes, let's do that, please.
Yeah, so I don't know who's paying attention, but RCW hasn't had a show in a while. And
been
part
like
of the
4
reason
months.
Yeah, it's in a while. And part of that has to do with my champion, Thomas McEntee. And
Yes.
I would like you to clip this and send it to me if at some point, if
Yeah.
you could.
I will do
Because Thomas, you haven't been here in a while. And I know you've been let go by management. And I am willing to have you come and show up and defend your title until you lose it. The problem is, Thomas, when it comes to collecting, it's time for me to collect what's rightfully mine. And that is the RCW Championship. Now, I'd made a promise to myself when I brought RCW back that I would stay away from title contention. But with him being off the air for quite some time, I got to take matters in my own hands. I got to do what's right for my company. So, Thomas, if you have the guts to show up to Winter Clash at the pre-show, be my guest because it's you and me for the RCW title. I don't want to vacate it. I don't want to vacate it. That's not the way to do it. So, Thomas, if you have the gonads, show up.
What? So you mean to say that you want Thomas McEntee, the RCW champion, who hasn't been seen in months, to now all of a sudden come and wrestle you because you want to collect what's rightfully yours?
Yeah, I paid for that belt. It's my company belt, and it seems he's disrespecting it by going into hiding. It's time to get out of hiding, Thomas. Face the music. And that is by facing the greatest RCW champion that's ever lived on this planet. What?
It is a belt that has a lot of lineage. It has been a belt we've talked about on and off.
18 years.
And here on Sportswire, since when we've talked about it on and off with you being on here. And obviously that's something that should certainly come back to its rightful owner. If those are circumstances, I would certainly be sympathetic toward. And if you are here, do me a favor, hit the sub button for the All Wrestling Matters archives page. Mr. Jovi would like that. We like to keep him happy and keep coming on Sportswire Radio. And we'll have to see what happens. Yeah, Thomas McEntee's name I haven't heard in quite a while. And that's a very, very valid point. I had not thought of him in a while, and I hope that he does come back and, certainly return back what is to its rightful owner. I would certainly be sympathetic toward that. And
I might even pay him to come if he asked to. I don't care what.
I'm not getting in the middle of that. Well, I can't get in the middle of that, but what I can say is that we hope he shows up, and please support the All Wrestling Matters archives page. And Camo wants to say the House of Wolves always wins. Camo, Cam, and Jim aren't the same. I can say that in opinions. And look behind you. That's previous episodes of
I
Sports.
can already see behind me.
Oh, well.
There's a camera pointing right at me, and it shows everything that's behind me.
Well, we're going to get the
good game, Ricky. Good game. I win.
We appreciate you.
Next
And
time.
it is his platform, and he did want to say that now Soldier has no one to rely on because of his own actions. He let everyone down. It's a spoiler for what is to come at Winter Clash. We'll be talking a lot about that over the next week or so. There you go. And you and him have now certainly respected. I'm not going down that road. And yeah, you've said a lot tonight, and you're in the Hall of Fame once again, this time with the Rock Stars of the Galaxy, and that includes Mephisto as well. You know the deal. We'll give you the physical copy, and I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about still with you coming up in the next few weeks. It's 20 days from now. Time certainly flies, and I do want to thank you. And as one more time, we have some rock stars in their own right coming on here. That's starting Sunday night next week with Chris Poland, who was the guitarist on Megadeth's arguably most influential album, Peace Sells and Who's Buying, and also is playing with David Ellefson, who's the man that was the co-founder of Megadeth, and he'll be here right after that. So great stuff. But for you, my friend, I think you said plenty. I'll pass the baton to you. I will give you some closing thoughts. Anything else you want to plug, share, or say? Take it away.
Of course. Keep an eye out for Jovi's vlog. It's always got going on. Few people thought the whole marriage angle between me and Ricky was entertaining. The best is yet to come. So
Well,
I don't want to get too much into that because that story is ridiculous. And what happened on a dare. So,
hey, Truth or Dare was Madonna's, most, some would say, most important piece of art. Who am I to judge at this point? But one more time, please hit the man a sub button for him. He's 2 subscribers away from 900. And Omen would like to say, Jim, Omen who? Omen the guy your wife loves to cheer for. I'm going to leave that at that. Brothers and sisters, rejoice. Speaking of people that are going to be on Sportswire very soon, I'll make that announcement when Jason Storm is here, but he's going to be on here very, very soon. And that is the Prophet Jordan Crowley. And he wanted to congratulate you again. And he was there.
I got used to driving nuts on commentary, but now I'm starting to understand him, and I definitely appreciate his work for consistently correcting Dirty Donnie on how terrible of a commentator he is. So thank you, Jordan, for putting Dirty in his place every month.
Well, you know what? I do like the commentary team. I'm going to leave that at that, but I'm very excited to see Mr. Crowley on in his own spot. And there's a surprise for you in the basement. I'm going to certainly leave that at that. At least it's not previous episodes you've been through here on Sportswire. But
I don't know. I might get attacked off the air now.
Well, you know what? I'm going to leave that at that. I think, though, you can handle yourself just fine.
Oh, yeah.
That is Shawn. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah.
Was something? Yeah.
No,
that is Shawn Jovi. Yeah, that is Shawn Jovi in a rather eventful episode here tonight. And he is one half of the IMF Tag Team Champions. He'll be in action here coming up 20 days from now. At the IMF's biggest show today is Winter Clash. I know we say it every month, but I think it's going to be even bigger here coming up. And he'll be in action defending those Tag Team Championships alongside Mephisto. They are the Rock Stars of the Galaxy. They'll be defending them against Prince Achia once again. And now Tone the Boss, who's the Intergalactic champion, and this time there's a twist, and that Dirty and Ace Diamond will be tied at ringside together. So we'll see how that unfolds. But Jovi has a YouTube channel. As I continue to stay, please hit the sub button for him. Also follow him on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Please support the IMF. We'll be back here Friday night with Johnny Velocity. Saturday night, Jason Storm, who's going to have plenty to say about what happened at 30 Deeds. And before that, James Taylor makes his return to Sportswire. So hopefully we'll get into those shows. And as I said one more time, I want to thank everybody for their support. Thank you for your support and tuning into the shows and getting us the opportunity alongside Shawn Jovi and some of the people here in the chat to speak with these rock stars. And I'm grateful for your support. And please, one more time, give your thoughts and prayers to Mark Kendall of Great White, who was on the platform. He was dealing with stage 4 kidney cancer. Terrible news. But my friend, we'll see you soon. Happy Thanksgiving. I know you and Soldier won't be spending Thanksgiving together this year. And I'm sure, though, you and Ricky will, though, nevertheless.
Yeah, probably.
All right. That is Shawn Jovi. He is the resident rock star, not just of the IMF, but of the BYW, the underground community in sports by radio. He is one half of the IMF Tag Team Champions, and he had plenty to say here tonight. Please follow him on all social media platforms. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice, figuratively and literally, where all music and wrestling matters. Please hit the sub button for us. And until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, on the number one global radio, the Sports by Radio, where all music and wrestling matters. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great night.